Hi everybody. Thanks so much for coming to practice with me today. I was thinking about the kinds of things that we might need for our bodies and for ourselves in this moment, and what I need for my body in this moment is I need to be uplifted and I need to rest in that feeling of upliftment. So maybe some of you are having this same experience, that these things sound appealing to you, and this practice will be just right. You can stay seated for the centering, or if you want to go ahead and lie down, you're welcome to do that. You can put yourself in any position that you need. If you are sitting, take a moment to readjust your seat so that you can sit with more attention, more awareness, a taller spine. Let your hands rest in your lap or by your sides, and close your eyes. When we close our eyes, we get a chance to pull in to ourselves away from the outside world. It's a kind of delightful remembering that we have such wisdom in us. Sometimes we just need to rest in order for that wisdom to come to the surface. In order to remember, to have that delightful revelation of how great our body feels and how wise we are, how we can feel uplifted in our spirit. That's what we do in restorative yoga practice. Create these strategic shapes with the props that would allow us to feel bright and open, but also settled and restful. How does this land for you, this invitation of the practice today? Take a couple of breaths and feel the words that I've spoken. Feel the culmination of your day. And consider the intentions that you have for your own practice. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Rest your thumbs at your sternum, but seal the edges of your palms and fingertips. Leave a small space between your hands. That small space is where you hold your intention. You hold your desire to remember the power of this practice in that space between your hands. When we sing the sound of Om, our individual intentions are amplified, are magnified and supported by this collective and comprehensive sound of Om. We invite you to add your voice to mine, or you're welcome to listen. Exhale your breath. Breathe in. Release your hands down into your lap. Keep your gaze soft as you blink open your eyes. Okay, our first restorative yoga pose is a simple supported back bending posture. We're going to use 1 or 2 blankets for this pose, and I'd like to show you how to set it up. So if you want to try it with 2 blankets, I think that's a good idea. You can always step it down if you find that this makes the back bend too intense to have 2. Take one of your blankets or your towels if you're using it in this kind of small rectangle shape, and put it across the middle of your yoga mat. So this is going to be kind of the base, the basic setup for the back bend. Do a little ironing of that blanket, right? Like make it smooth and neat. And then take a second blanket and fold it so that it's a skinny rectangle, maybe like half the size of the blanket you just folded, right? So you can fold it over one more time into this shape and put it on top, like so. The idea here with this setup is that you're going to be sitting in front of the blanket stack, back bending it over it so that your shoulders and head are above the folded blanket. So give it a try. Come on to lie down on this and see how it works, how it feels in your back. You're coming into kind of a position that's like a bridge pose, but instead of having just your pelvis elevated, you're really lifting and opening the center part of your body. The smaller blanket should fit in the space between the bottom tips of your shoulder blades and the top rim of your pelvis. But I'd love for you to keep your pelvis down on the floor with your knees bent, and let your shoulders settle down, your head settle down flat onto the mat. Now, if you come into this position and you can immediately feel that this is much too intense a back bend for your back, you can definitely take away the blanket, the second blanket that you put on top, and just lie back with a less intense lift. Test out different arm positions too. Some folks have a real tendency to appreciate arms up overhead, right? It will feel like it elongates the shape of the back bend. Other folks will want arms down. You could do hands on belly or arms out into a T. I'd recommend keeping your knees bent with your feet flat, though you could step your feet out wide and rest your knees in. If you just really feel that having straight legs is the way to go, of course, you're welcome to straighten your legs. For many folks, having straight legs, though, increases the sensation of back bend just in low back, and that might feel like a little bit too much for what we're after in this practice today. If you have your arms up overhead, you could even slide your hands behind your head to give yourself a little extra lift, or use your third blanket, just one layer of soft between the back of your head and the floor. Make any adjustments or wiggles or shifts that your body wants or needs. And see if you can settle into a place of stillness. In restorative yoga, you're not stuck, even though we're cultivating a position that we can sustain and hold still for quite a while. Sometimes poses will get more comfortable over time, and sometimes they get less comfortable. Be prepared to respond accordingly. As usual, the breath is there as an anchor point for your mind, as an aid to your relaxation. With every exhale, let your body settle and drop down into the floor and into your props. With every breath in, you can feel the way your ribs and chest and belly inflate and move as you breathe. Practice resting into this open space that this pose creates. Bring your attention back from wherever your mind might have been. And just feel the impact of this pose you've been resting in. Sometimes you can tell right away that there's some movement or shifting that your body wants or needs. Or of course, you could just stay still for a moment longer. If you haven't done this already, lower arms down by your sides or place your hands on your belly. And take your time to roll over onto your side. Using support from your hands and your arms, push yourself up into a seated position. Close your eyes or turn your gaze downward as you get into your seat. And just feel the impact of the pose you were just practicing. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale with a sigh. Blink, open your eyes. For the next pose, you need something to support your head. I have a third blanket here that I'm just gonna fold over into a smaller rectangle for a head blanket. You are welcome to do the same. Or maybe you have a small pillow that you want to use. You're welcome to put whatever you like under your head. And then if you're sitting with your back towards where that head blanket will be, take the blankets that had been supporting your spine and slide them over to your left side. And then bring your bolster and put your bolster or your bed pillows or whatever cushion you're gonna use over on the right side. Once you have those things set up, lie down on your back and organize your head so that it's resting comfortably on your blanket or your pillow. Shift your pelvis over to the left, so just slide your butt over towards the blankets you have on the left side. Straighten your right leg out along the floor and cross your left leg over so that your left leg rests on the bolster. I'd love for you to support this from your knee all the way down to your ankle and foot. You can pull the blankets over so that they become a rest for your left arm. Put your hands any way that you like. Pull the blankets in as tight as you need against your shoulder blade or into your spine. I want this to feel like you're really kind of cozy and cuddled up here with the blankets at your back and the bolster under your knee. You can place your hands any way that you like, maybe on your sides or on your legs or wherever it feels natural for your hands to land. And then just as before, close your eyes. Let your whole body settle into the props. Back bending poses and twisting poses are natural counterparts. But give yourself a moment to settle in. You can use your breath as an anchor, as an encouragement for you to let go of any unnecessary holding. attention back wherever your mind might have been. Slide your left leg off of the bolster, but then pull your left arm all the way across your body. So you're rolling over all the way to your right side. Pause for just a second. Then with support from your hands and your arms, push your body up to a seated position. Close your eyes and have a moment to feel the impact of the pose you just practiced. Keeping your gaze soft, blink open your eyes. Keep your props where they are, but just move your head blanket to the other side of your yoga mat. And then come down onto your back again. Get your head settled on the support for your head or pillow, whatever you're using there. Slide your pelvis over to the right side towards the blankets. Straighten your left leg and cross your right leg over. Rest your knee and your foot on the bolster or your pillows, and then pull the blankets underneath your right arm into your shoulder and against the back of your body. Rest your hands wherever they land naturally. And keep in mind it will take a moment for your body to get settled on the second side of the twist. Use the exhalations to soften and settle into the props and into the pose. attention back from wherever your mind might have been. Slide your right leg off of the bolster. Roll all the way over onto your left side, bringing your right arm around in front of your body. Pause for just a moment on your side. And then use the support of your hands and your arms. Push yourself up into a seated position. Close your eyes. And just feel the impact of the pose you were practicing. Keeping your gaze soft. Blink open your eyes. Our last pose of this practice is a pose that's called Stonehenge, where you're going to elevate your legs with the bolster and the blocks. So take your blocks and set them up next to each other. You're going to set up side by side on the middle side of the blocks, wherever you want your legs to go. Then put your bolster on top, kind of like you're making a little table. This shelf that you've made will be the shelf for your legs. When you lie down, put your legs up onto the bolster and the block so that your calves are supported. Scoot far enough forward that your shins end up parallel to the floor. Lie back and organize so your head feels cozy and supported by your pillow or your blanket. And even if it feels warm in your home and for your practice today, consider putting a blanket over your belly or your chest. The weight of the blanket, not necessarily the warmth, though that could be nice too. The weight of this blanket can help encourage you to feel more settled. Close your eyes if they weren't closed already. And let your whole body rest and settle into the support of the props. tension back from wherever your mind might have been. Notice if there's some way your body wants to shift or move. Or maybe you notice that you want to linger just a little bit longer. As you're feeling ready, start to wiggle and move your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Then roll over onto your side. Tuck your chin in and pull your knees in. When you're ready, use the support of your hands and your arms. Shift your body back up into your seated position. Close your eyes or turn your gaze downward. Feel the impact of the practice you've just done. Bring your hands back together in front of your heart. Seal your fingers and the edges of your hands, but again, leave that small space between your palms. Whatever it is you hope to remember from this practice, whatever you want to take with you as you step off your mat, hold that remembrance tenderly between your palms. The sound of Om nourishes and nurtures this intention, this remembrance. And by singing Om, we honor the wisdom and the ritual and the traditions of yoga. Add your voice to mine, or you could listen. Exhale your breath. And breathe in. May this practice take us to a sense of peace, and may that peace be to the benefit of all beings everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Peace, peace, peace. Thanks for spending some time resting with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.